Good evening. India has clocked 2 lakh cases today. Let that number sink in. That is 2 lakh people who've contracted COVID-19 in just one single day. And yet, we have election rallies, we have political campaigns that are continuing like they couldn't simply be bothered by this. The Election Commission will have a high-level meeting tomorrow in Bengal to figure out whether COVID-appropriate behavior can be enforced in Bengal rallies. Should they move from physical rallies to virtual rallies? And if the situation were to go from worse to worst, then should the remaining phases be clubbed? Although the Election Commission is right now saying there is no such proposal on the table. The TMC wants those phases clubbed. They anyway have a problem with an 8-phased election. But the moot point is this, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot have a situation in this country where there are 2 lakh people testing positive every single day for COVID-19, and on the other hand, elections are going on as though none of this affects them. An election cannot be more important than people's lives.
It's the festival of democracy. In the largest democracy in the world. There's color, there's singing and dancing. There's sloganeering and fervor. But unknown to all these people, there's also a silent killer stalking amid them, getting stronger and stronger every day.
Look at this rally. Do you see any kind of distance maintaining as per COVID protocols? Certainly not. There is no sufficient distance that is being maintained by the workers of this particular rally for COVID.
Indeed, looking at these visuals, you may even forget that COVID ever was a problem.
আমরা সচেতন অবশ্যই আছি, কিন্তু বুঝতেই পারছেন প্রচণ্ড গরম এবং জলের আছে অবশ্যই সাধারণত বজায় অবশ্যই রাখছি এবং ডিস্টেন্স যতটুকু পারা যায় যতটুকু মেনটেন অবশ্যই করছি এবং দেখা যাক কতদূর কি করা যায়।
মিস্টেক হয়ে গেছে, কিন্তু এতটাই এক্সাইটেড পার্টির জন্য মানে ভুলে গেছি।
In the midst of the battle for Bengal, no Neta here wants to be COVID aware. Because each political party wants to flaunt the crowds and supporters. In an electoral system where people often cast their vote just on the face value of their leaders, no Neta wants to be seen with a mask.
इलेक्शन की जो मतलब महल जो है ना, उसमें ये दोनों का संतुलन करना बहुत कष्ट हो रहा है। मैं मसले की घूम रहा हूँ कि जितने भी जगह हैं वो हम लोग थोड़ा कोशिश कर रहे हैं, लेकिन कैंडिडेट का मुंह अगर नहीं देख पाएंगे तो लोगों का प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा। एक तो देखिए घूस के बात नहीं करने के लिए वो लोग स्पेस छोड़ रहे हैं कि मैं लोगों के सामने जाऊं, और उसके बाद ये है अगर मुंह ना देख पाए तो क्या करेंगे हम लोग।
Assembly elections aside, even panchayat elections in states like Uttar Pradesh are taking place, where caution is thrown to the wind and no social distancing is being followed among those who are flocking to the polling booths to cast their votes. Bihar was the first state to see elections amid a pandemic, and many fell ill due to the virus. But advisories on COVID protocol during campaigning have clearly not been paid heed to during the 5 elections this summer.
From day one we've been saying we don't want 8 phases. We have come. This is health, but what else do you expect from this government? The COVID preparation has been a disaster.
While the show of people power must go on, the ugly truth remains. The Neta who charms his or her way to your vote probably has the resources to survive getting infected. But can the same be said about those who vote for the Neta?
All right, should we be bothered about elections right now at this time of extreme public health emergency? O.P. Rawat, former Chief Election Commissioner, is joining us. Dr. Nikhil Prasoon is West Bengal State Committee member and West Bengal BJP spokesperson. Sanjay Kumar, CSDS professor. Aman Pawar is spokesperson of the Congress Party. Let me start with you, Mr. Rawat. I know elections are important. I know elections have a schedule, and as per that schedule, they're going on right now. But the question that many ordinary people are asking is, should we be having elections and campaign rallies? And you can see all of those rallies. Nobody's wearing a mask there. Neither candidates nor the potential voters are wearing a mask there. Should we be having elections at a time such as this, sir?
I think Election Commission is seized of this issue, and they are taking a call shortly on this. And I think that they must be having enough empirical evidence from the Bihar election, because after they announced the Corona protocol for elections in 2020, Bihar elections were a major election in our country, and they would have had some statistics and empirical evidence from elections abroad, like Sri Lanka, Poland, South Korea. Many countries had elections during pandemic period. So with all that data, all that empirical evidence, Election Commission is the best judge to find out as to what really needs to be done to ensure that if this compliance of COVID protocol is not visible, what can they do to ensure that nothing wrong happens?
But sir, 2 points. One, the situation in the country when Bihar voted, which was last October, November, is not the same as the situation now. I think we're in a far worse position than we were in October, November last year. I think we can agree on that, number one. Number two, is it possible, I'm just curious, is it possible to move some of this campaigning to the virtual mode? We had a lot of virtual campaigning for Bihar, I remember. But in this election, certainly for Bengal, it's all been physical rallies. Is it possible to move some of this virtually?
That will depend on Election Commission and all the stakeholders, including all political parties. Because if in a wrestling match, if referee says that I'll tie down your hands and legs, you can just speak something, then what will be a wrestling match like? So that is the issue here, that you cannot. And another thing, whatever you said in the first, that the Bihar elections were in a different situation, absolutely no. Spread is larger now, numbers are larger now, but you will have to see the areas from where these numbers are coming. There is no election there. Maharashtra, absolutely no election. And therefore, we must set our eyes on the actual data, ground reality. Only then we should make up our mind.
Okay, let me go to Nikhil Prasoon. And again, just a point about Bengal. You are not going to get the numbers of exponential numbers in Bengal now. You will get it once this campaign gets over, when people get tested, when candidates go back. We've seen that in Kerala and Tamil Nadu, which concluded elections. In Kerala, the Chief Minister and the former Chief Minister were detected COVID positive the day after the polling ended. So my point is, Nikhil Prasoon, at this stage, when India is clocking 2 lakh cases every single day, is an election more important, or are people's lives more important, sir?
Namaskar. Today is one of the most auspicious days for us. Today is Poila Boishakh. I send my greetings to everyone in the country. And this goes without saying that life is more important than elections. And we express our desire to obey what's decided by Election Commission tomorrow. And each and every word of Election Commission would be followed in letter and spirit. That is an assurance that I would like to give through your program. And before that as well, our Prime Minister and other leaders have maintained time and again that we should definitely be Dawai bhi and Kadai bhi. And he has, in the last few days back, he had a meeting with all the chief ministers and all the governors as well. And in his approach, he has been emphatic enough to say that, well, the protocol should be properly executed and that should be in the place. And wherever he goes to his rallies and other things, so he makes it a point that, more and more people, they adhere to the norms which have been laid down by Election Commission. But it's it's common, it becomes practically impossible to execute each and everything. But anyway, the mask and the sanitizers can well be used.
But Dr. Prasoon, just a straight question. Tomorrow the Election Commission is meeting. It's meeting representatives of all political parties in Bengal, including your party. The TMC has been saying they are in favor of clubbing phases 6, 7 and 8. Would you be in agreement with that?
At the time of decision of these phases, at that point of time, it was on a decline curve. the corona. So
Yes.
it could not be anticipated that we are going to have a perilous situation like this.
Correct.
And the law and order was the foremost priority. And these TMC people, they are apprehensive of the fact that they won't be able to rig the elections. So they have got a different concern. And this is one. That's why they had been asking for lesser number of phases right from the word go, from the beginning itself. Number two, Honorable Chief Minister happens to be the Health Minister. When she was sitting on a dharna, she could well have conducted a meeting with the Health Ministry officials, because the normal, processes, normal administration and the processes thereof have been put to, almost it has been put to back burner. The normal number of hospitals, the beds availability, the crematorium, these things have to be looked into by the administration, which has probably been, shunned.
I want to go across to Dr. Sanjay Kumar as well. There are also smaller elections that are happening, by-elections that are happening. And here is a curious case. You might be interested, Dr. Kumar. In Pipali, a constituency in Odisha where there is a by-poll, the sitting BJP candidate died because of COVID. His son is now the candidate there. And just yesterday we got word, between yesterday and today we got word that the Congress candidate who was taking him on in that constituency died because of COVID. So two people have died because of COVID in the fight for this one seat. In Damo in Madhya Pradesh, where again a by-election is happening on the 17th, I think, the BJP candidate there today has tested positive. The point is, these smaller elections, I can understand, assembly elections schedules have been laid for months on end and work has gone on for months on end. But these smaller by-elections, should that also be risked during this corona time?
Zaka, very difficult to say whether these elections are small or, because the schedule were decided at one go. It's not that the schedule for by-election was decided only few days back. So I don't buy the argument that if you have to cancel the election, you don't cancel or postpone the regular election or the routine election which is taking place in, say, West Bengal, and you put an stop or you do something to bring the by-elections to an end. Yes, it is unfortunate that you have cited the incident from these the two constituencies where by-elections are taking place, that people have died, the candidates have died because of corona. But I think my personal view is that, yes, elections have been announced. There is a schedule for election. So it may be very, very difficult to postpone the election or, when the election is in the middle. But why not follow the protocol which people are being asked to follow? Everybody is asked to follow the protocol. That COVID protocol should be followed by all the candidates and all the people who are coming to these rallies. So I think more important is to try and follow.
Is that the responsibility of the Election Commission to monitor that, or is that the responsibility of the political party to monitor that? Who's responsible?
Of Election Commission. No one else, because we can't expect leaders to be in a sense responsible that they would start following the COVID protocol. We can't expect large number of party workers to be following. If they start following, then there's no point of worry. But if they are not following, I think it is the responsibility of Election Commission to try and make sure that these things are followed.
I'll ask Mr. Rawat for a response to that, but I want to go to Aman Pawar first. But Aman Pawar, the Congress party has also been taking part in these elections in Kerala and Tamil Nadu, certainly in Bengal as well. You're part of the third front there. Would it be your view that these elections could have been either clubbed or postponed at the height of this COVID pandemic?
Zaka, firstly, I must tell you that on 10th of April, when the Congress president took a meeting with all the Congress-ruled states' chief ministers, she very categorically had said that there are two factors for the which are responsible for the rise in COVID cases across the nation. One being the political rally and the other being the religious gatherings. Now, the question here today is that when Tamil Nadu, which is a 200-odd seat assembly, can have a single phase election, then why did the Election Commission give the leverage to have a 8-phase election in West Bengal? And that too when they had the experience of Bihar, when after the election, the positivity rate actually jumped by 3.5% in the state of Bihar.
No, but
Now,
what do you
we
say?
also
What do you
know-
say to what Dr. Prasoon said and Mr. O.P. Rawat said that the cases are not happening in Bengal. The bulk of the cases are happening in non-election states. Maharashtra being a prime example, and then you have
No, no,
Gujarat,
so
MP, etc. Chhattisgarh. There are no elections
Is
there.
it acceptable that if the cases are rising in Maharashtra, cases will not rise in Bengal after these kind of huge gatherings where the Home Minister, the Prime Minister does not even care to wear masks? And why and whose behest is the Election Commission functioning? We all know. It used to be an independent body at a point of time. Now to give leverage to the BJP to allow them to campaign extensively in Bengal, the Election Commission announced the 8-phase election. Why did you announce a single-phase election in Tamil Nadu?
Okay.
When the
no
number of
two
seats is
states,
not,
no two
there is
states
not
are the
much
same.
difference.
Assam is a small state. I think 126 constituencies. It had a 3-phase poll. Kerala has 140 constituencies. Tamil Nadu had 234 constituencies, all in one phase. I don't think two states are comparable. But let me get Mr. Rawat to respond to that. Whose responsibility? Sanjay Kumar says and Aman Pawar says it's the responsibility of the Election Commission to ensure that whatever rallies happen, whatever meetings happen, that COVID protocols are maintained. After all, the entire law and order machinery is under the control of the Election Commission once the model code kicks in.
Actually, I feel that the responsibility lies with everyone. Election Commission is just a referee. All the stakeholders, political parties, candidates, and even the electors, responsibility lies with everyone to follow the COVID protocol of Election Commission strictly, and that will stand them in good stead. However, about the elections in Tamil Nadu, Kerala, I can tell you historically, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Puducherry, these three were going to polls in single phase for so many times.
Yeah.
And West Bengal has always had so many phases, 6, 7, 8, like that. So this is not something which is unique to this time. This is historically happening election after
No, but
election.
in this extraordinary circumstance, is it possible for the Election Commission to club the remaining phases, 6, 7 and 8?
Election Commission can act on empirical evidence, the data available from all the election-bound states and all the previous elections in the world which took place during pandemic time. With all that data, all that evidence, and if cause and effect relates that yes, election rallies are causing this, they can have all powers to
club
take any
phases
decision.
as well. All right. I want to thank our guests because we're getting a piece of breaking news. Thanks very much to all the gentlemen who joined us. With this piece of breaking news coming in again from Bengal, and this has got to do with the continuing notices for violations that are being issued by the Election Commission. BJP leader Sayantan Basu has now become the latest to get an Election Commission notice. He's got 24 hours to explain the comment that he made about Sital Kuchi. He quoted the movie Sholay to say that if you kill one, we will kill four. So Pallavi Ghosh joining us with more details. Pallavi, what's been mentioned in this notice?
See, Sayantan Basu is a BJP candidate from Basirhat, and basically during a rally, he used a threatening tone. That's what the Election Commission says, Zaka, which is a violation of the Model Code of Conduct, where you cannot use any language which threatens any other political party or any other person. And this has been seen as a violation of the Model Code of Conduct, which is why he has been now served a notice. He has to respond within 24 or 48 hours, failing which, if the reply is not satisfactory, the EC will take action against him.
Just a quick comment. I mean, is there any sort of word coming in from the TMC? Because they had made a huge issue and Mamata Banerjee went on this 8-hour dharna or 5-hour dharna because she was banned for 24 hours. Now, in the last few days, we've had between Rahul Sinha, Dilip Ghosh, now Sayantan Basu, Shubhendu Adhikari being pulled up, all by the Election Commission, to say that the Election Commission is extremely compromised. Would that be accurate?
I think the Election Commission, right from day one, has been making this point, Zaka, that it's never been selective when it wants to take action. And it's not that the BJP leaders have not been pulled up. They have been in the previous elections as well. They have been in this election as well. And they go case by case. So Shubhendu Adhikari, Rahul Sinha, Dilip Ghosh, and now, of course, Sayantan Basu. I don't think that Trinamool Congress is going to be satisfied because it's very clearly a part of the political agenda to make the point that the EC is selective, non-partisan, and they have been saying this from day one. Right. That's what a political campaign is all about now.
All right, Pallavi Ghosh, we'll leave it at that. Thanks very much. Crucial EC meeting tomorrow to decide how to enforce COVID protocol for the remaining phases in the Bengal election. Meanwhile, let's talk about COVID because Delhi reported 17,000 fresh cases today. This is in the last 24 hours. For the second day in a row, after a weekend curfew was announced in the national capital. All gyms, all malls, all spas will remain shut. Theatres will remain shut during the weekend, whereas they will be down to 30% occupancy during the weekdays. The movement of people will be curbed. Only essential folks will be allowed to ply. That's essential services. Medical personnel, they'll be allowed to operate on the weekends.
वीकेंड के ऊपर कर्फ्यू दिल्ली के अंदर लगाया जाएगा। इसका कारण ये है कि लगभग हफ्ते के दौरान, वर्किंग डेज़ के दौरान आदमी को अपनी कमाई करने के लिए जाना होता है, आदमी को अपने काम पे जाना होता है। लेकिन वीकेंड में अक्सर जो लोग निकलते हैं वो अपने एंटरटेनमेंट के लिए या दूसरी एक्टिविटीज़ के लिए निकलते हैं जो कि कर्टेल की जा सकती है।
Meanwhile, India has added over 2 lakh cases in the last 24 hours, which is the highest one-day spike since the beginning of the pandemic. It's the 5th straight day that the country is seeing over 1.5 lakh new cases. 1,000 plus people have died in the last 24 hours. Total active cases now stands at more than 14 lakh. Amidst the skyrocketing COVID cases in Maharashtra, with the state battling lack of ICU beds and medical oxygen, 4-star and 5-star hotels will now be turned into COVID hospitals. They will perform as extensions to major private hospitals for COVID-positive patients. 2 hotels in Maharashtra are starting to function as COVID hospital extensions from today. Amid the Kumbh Mela, over 2,000 positive cases have been found in Haridwar between the 10th of April and the 14th. Meanwhile, a member of the Nirvani Akhada has passed away after he tested positive for COVID-19. Mukesh Ambani's Reliance Industries today sent oxygen from his refineries to Maharashtra for free assist to the state during a time when the cases are at an all-time high. Oxygen produced in Mukesh Ambani's refineries in Jamnagar have been sent to Maharashtra free of cost. Both Eknath Shinde and Milind Deora have tweeted that the state received 100 tons of gas from Reliance.